everybody, and welcome back to Bebo's Kitchen. I'd like to welcome those of you who are new to my channel, and I would like to ask, if you haven't subscribed, how about subscribing? Leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up if you enjoy the video, and don't forget to click the notification bell. Today I am going to be canning some peaches. It's been really crazy for me for the last month. I have not been able to video anything and post any videos. Clayton and I went up to our cabin in North Carolina and spent a week, about 3 weeks ago I guess it was, and right before we came home I came down with COVID. I don't know where I came in contact with it, but I tested positive, and it was a mild case, thank the Lord. It wasn't bad, but I just really felt under the weather, and of course, you know, it just weakens you down. You don't have any energy, or I haven't. I've had it twice now, and both times that's the way it affected me. It just really depleted my energy level. So I didn't feel like doing anything when I got back home. And then last week, my daughter-in-law and my 3 granddaughters and my great-granddaughter, we went back to the cabin and spent 4 days, just us girls up there. So I have come back, and I came back with beautiful peaches. I always love to get peaches up there. They're always so sweet and so delicious. So I want to can these, and normally what I would do is to can them being sliced so that I use them for cobblers. But I have seen some recipes where they use peach halves, and I don't know about you guys, but I have not been able to find canned peach halves in the grocery stores around here where I live. Now I could order them off of Amazon, but good gracious, it's crazy. So I thought, well, you know what, I'm going to can me some peach halves. So I want to tell you what you're going to need for this if you are interested in doing it. Now, if you're doing peach halves, I highly recommend you use a wide mouth jar so that when you are putting your peaches in, it doesn't break them when you stick them in. They'll have room to go into the jar. So get wide mouth jars. You're going to need your lids to seal the jar with, and you're going to need the ring to go on the lid. So you're going to need jars, lids, and rings. Now I will be making a syrup that will go in with this, so you're going to need sugar and you're going to need water. You also will need a pressure canner to do this. I have a pot of water that's hot here, it's boiling, and you could take a pillowcase and put your peaches in it and dip it in the water, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to scald my peaches so that the peelings will split and they just slip off. Much easier than peeling them by hand with a knife. So instead of using the pillowcase, I have chosen, I'm just going to put them in and dip them out with this large tea strainer. So I want to get started with this and get these peaches canned, and I hope that maybe this will interest you, that you will can use some peaches as well. So let's get started. First thing I have done now is to have washed the fuzz off of my peaches. And so I am going to bring the camera over so that you can see when I put them in the water. It won't take but a minute or so. And then what you're going to do is take these back out of the water and put them in I've got my sink of water drawn with cold water. You want to put them in cold water to stop the cooking process for right then. So let's get this started, and let me get these peaches canned. I have turned the heat down, but I'm going to bring it back up since I'm getting ready to put my peaches in. And all I'm going to do is just drop these down in the water. These are the best peaches. They are so sweet. Oh my goodness, they're delicious. Okay, and now I'm going to watch these, and when they start to split, I will take them out and carry them over to the sink filled with cold water. If you choose, you can peel them by hand with a knife, but this is so much easier to do, and you don't have any waste of your peach. This is the same method I do with when I'm canning tomatoes. I scald the tomatoes and slip the skins off, and it's so much easier to do that way. These are not splitting, but I think they're ready. I think the peeling will slip off of that. So I'm going to take one up and put it in my cold water and let's see what it does. I think these are ready to come up, so I'm going to go ahead and take them up and transfer them to the cold water bath and see if the peeling won't slip off of that. The peeling actually has not split, but I think when I put this in cold water, it's going to slip off of the peach easily. So we'll try it and see anyway. I'll turn my water off, and I'm just going to carry these over to the sink and put them in cold water. Okay, I'm going to see how the peeling just peels off of that like that. That's what you want it to do. And it's just much easier to peel. And you don't have near the waste of your peach. I think these actually could have stayed a little bit longer. I think probably partly because my peach is so firm. That may be part of the reason why my peeling didn't release or split. I probably should have left it in there just a little bit longer. But this is okay. These peaches are really firm, and that's the problem, I think. If they were really ripe, that peeling would just split. But this has not done like it normally will do. Usually it slides right off, but this one isn't. I kept these in the refrigerator after I got home until I could do this, and so that has slowed down the ripening process, but I'm just going to go ahead and cut this and show you. So you can see. Okay. I will take my jar. That's a really large peach. This is only going to hold about 4 peach halves because these are really large peaches. And then by the time I get my syrup in there, that's all that's going to hold. See how that's peeling off? This peach, I think, was a little riper than those 2 really large ones. It's just slipping right off. See how easily that one peeled off? That's the way it's supposed to do. Just slip right out. This peach is really firm, so the secret to this is if your peaches are soft, when you scald it, that skin will slip totally off. But these peaches were firm. I've never worked with any before that were firm like this, so I didn't know. But anyway, I will continue on with the rest of these, and then I will show you about making the syrup and putting that in to process the peaches. So I will be back in a little bit. I think, no, I was going to say I think I'm going to split this one and put it in, but I'm not going to. I want them all to be halves. So I will just slip that into this jar. Okay, and so I'll be back in just a minute when I finish with these. You can see that I've got the peaches in the jars. I've got 7 quarts here that I'm doing. Now I will have to tell you, I didn't realize because I'd only done this way once before. And my peaches evidently were very ripe at that time, and so the skins just slipped right off when I scalded them. This time these peaches are really firm, and so the skin was really attached, and I had to peel the most of them. So that being said, if you want to do the scalding method, make sure your peaches are very ripe. Otherwise, you may as well just go ahead and peel them. I have the 7 quarts, like I said, and now I'm making my syrup that's going to go in this, and then they will go into the canner. My syrup is just sugar and water, and I will post in the description box about this syrup. Now, I'm doing 1.5 recipes. I don't know how much it will really yield out in my jars. I hope it will be enough. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to heat this up and let this dissolve and get it hot. And then I will pour it over my peaches. And at that point, then they will go in the canner, and I'll start the process of canning them. And so I'm going to go ahead and let this start getting hot while this is getting hot and melting the sugar. But like I said, I did 1.5 recipes of this, which was 4.5 cups of sugar and 6 cups of water. And that's for a medium syrup. I like to can my fruits in a medium syrup. You can do a lighter syrup if you like, and you can also do one that's heavier. But I prefer the medium. So just as soon as this dissolves and gets hot, I'm going to ladle it up into my jars, and we'll go from there. Okay, I am ladling the juice into my jars, and I've decided to take a few out that were pretty high up, like that one, but that one is okay, I think. But anyway, I decided to put those into a pint, and give myself more room in these jars. But my syrup, I brought it up to a high heat and dissolved the sugar. And so you just want to cover your fruit with the syrup. And I told you in the beginning that you needed a pressure cooker. Well, I'm sorry, but I made a mistake. You don't need a pressure cooker. These actually are done with a water bath. And so as long as you have a large pot that you can put your jars in that will be completely submerged in water, that is how you process these. They're not cooked in a pressure cooker. I was thinking that they were, but that was my mistake. So sorry for that. And thinking about it, if you were to do this in a pressure cooker, it'd cook your peaches to death. So you wouldn't want them to be like mush, but they would be. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, I obviously was not thinking all the way through with it. Okay, and now you just want to make sure that your rims of your jars have nothing on them so that they will seal. You don't want any peach residue, any syrup, anything that will keep your lid from making a good seal. Because if it doesn't, you will lose your fruit. Okay, so now I'm going to put my lids on it. Now, doing it this way, you do not have to put your lids in boiling water to soften it, because the whole thing is going to go in boiling water and it will be covered with the water. So I want them nice and tight. If you are new to canning, you may and you may not know this, I don't know, but these rings are reusable. Not the lid, but the ring you can use, as long as they're not so rusted that you can't tighten it down or get it off when it's time to open it. You also want to make sure that they're not bent, because if they're bent, then you may not get a good seal. I'm really thankful to get this done. Clayton and I have grapes that we've picked off of our grapevine at the farm, and we're gonna mash those this evening and get the juice out. We did that last year. I did it with a juicer, but the only thing with that is it makes your juice foam up and the foam doesn't go away. So we're gonna mash them by hand and strain them. The juice was delicious last year. They're really good grapes. Okay, that's nice and tight, and so now I'll bring the camera over and we'll get these in the boiling water. Okay, I will just set this down in the water. I may have too much water in here. If I do, I'll just dip some of it out. In fact, I probably should have a taller pot. I think I may have to do that because I want my water to cover the tops of my jars, and that's going to be running out. So I'm going to change out my pot and use a taller pot that I have. So I will be right back. Okay, I have all 7 of the quart jars in this pot, and you see it's totally covered with water, but there's not enough room to put the pint jar, so I'll have to process it by itself. But I'm going to process these for 30 minutes. I'm going to put a lid on this pot and let them cook for 30 minutes, and then they will be finished. So at that point, I will be back. Okay, my timer has just gone off. So I am going to take my peaches out of the water bath. This was the pint jar that I did, and I'm just going to set them on this towel. These are really, really pretty. Okay, 7 quarts and 1 pint. I think that they will be really good. I sure hope they are. I learned something myself in the process of making this, and that is, in order to dip your peaches in boiling water so that you can slip the skin off, your peaches are going to have to be soft. They're going to have to be really ripe. Okay, that concludes this video, and I hope that you'll give this a try if you're interested in canning peaches. I will list the recipe for the syrup below in the description box, and I wish you lots of luck. You take care, and until the next time, I am B-Boss saying may the Lord bless and keep you and your family safe, and until we see each other again, have a great day, but I hope to see you really soon in another video. You take care. Bye.